you remember what your first job was growing up?
I do. It was helping neighbor farmers fill silo and store hay when we were caught up enough where my dad could spare me.
Yeah.
Big bucks job.
Yeah.
No, it was good. And those farm ladies really knew how to cook.
Oh, okay. So you didn't just get paid for your labor, you got paid with food.
Sometimes I think that was more than the money.
That's good. Hard work, it sounds like.
It was hard work, but it was good.
Yeah. So, and then what about after you got out of school, what kind of jobs did you have?
I worked at Yellow Transit through college in the office over the pickup and delivery and dock work.
Yeah.
And that was a good job, good experience, and wasn't what I wanted to do for a living, but it was real good learning experience, and met a lot of nice people. It was good.
Now later you retired from a career in a form of teaching. Tell us about that.
Well, I taught industrial arts 3 years, and then for 30 years I worked for special ed co-op in a transition vocational, getting kids ready for the real world, life skills and job training and jobs.
Yeah. And so you were able to kind of be one of their advocates right before they would go into the workforce then and prepare them for that?
Yeah, that was a big deal I did when they're seniors to, where are you going to go when you get out of here?
Yeah.
Yeah, to get them headed in the right direction, hopefully.
Yeah. Well, that sounds like an amazing,
That was the
not just
effort.
job, but a ministry in a way.
Yeah.
Yeah. But that, I'm assuming that would be fairly rewarding.
It was rewarding and frustrating both, depending on the results.
Yeah, I bet. That makes sense. Well, let's start with the hospitality outreach, and I'll have you, before let me rephrase this. I'm going to combine something together. Why don't you tell us your name, your wife's name, and what ministries you serve in at First Christian Church?
I'm Keith Karsten. My wife's name's Carla, and I am in the welcome and greeting and the hospitality outreach.
Yeah. And let's talk about the welcome and greeting first, actually. What is it that you feel like is the overarching purpose in the welcome greeting ministry?
Well, it's to make people feel glad to be here. I think it's very important that when they come to the door, someone is there to let them know that they're important. Let them in, say hi, smiling face, and make sure they know that we're glad they're here.
Yeah. Make a good first impression.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. And then along with that type of ministry, what is it that you enjoy most about serving in that way?
Well, that's it basically, and just seeing people and talking to them, and especially after we started up again after the COVID shutdown, it was so good to see people, and even still, every Sunday, it seemed like somebody comes that you haven't seen in a year, and it's just so happy to see them, I think it's real important that they think that we're glad to see them.
Yeah. What challenges does a welcome and greeting ministry bring?
Well, the main thing now is the COVID, really hurt us in the amount of help we have. And when we came back, a lot of people on our teams did not come back, and some of them did, but they didn't want to greet. And the social distancing thing has been a problem. And I hope we have always been respectful of people's wishes on that, because it kind of is a personal thing to some of us that the shaking hands and hugging and all that doesn't happen. Yeah. And a few people, very few do, but most people, with the COVID, when we came back, and it still exists, want to keep their distance, and that's okay. Yeah. We respect that.
Yeah.
But the main thing now is getting our teams back, and so looking forward to some people signing up. So we got 4 teams, and they're by the month. So each team only has every 4 months, and if we get enough people signed up, which we have had in the past, you only have maybe 2-3 Sundays every 4 months that you have to do a greeting. We have 2 people at the front door, 2 by the information booth, and people by the doors at the sanctuary. Okay. And we for both services. So we need people. That's the big thing. It's not intimidating. In fact, it's really kind of fun because you get to see people, and it's a good thing to do, and it's not intimidating, really.
Yeah. There's a lot of space between the front door and the pew. And I love how your ministry makes people feel welcome the entire way, you know, and even before they get to the front door. And so what kinds of people usually serve and do the best with welcome ministry?
People who know people. I mean, it's I don't know. Try it. You know, I'll bet you whoever you are, you'll be good at it.
Yeah. So the prerequisites is you have to be able to smile.
Yeah, that'd
hello.
be nice. Yeah. Breathe and smile.
Breathe,
Say hi.
Breathe and smile.
Yeah.
That's awesome. If people who smiling is their favorite, as they say.
That'd be all right. Yeah.
That'd be good. Well, and obviously somebody who looks happy to be there.
Well, yeah, you know, if we're not happy to be
ideal.
here, how do we expect anybody to be? Yeah, that's a sure.
That's great. So if people wanted to get involved in your ministry, you have places that you could put them in right away.
Well, and we can give people choices, you know, if they, like if we need people at the front door and you're not comfortable with that way, you know, you can be inside and, so, you know, we have different places we can put people if you have a problem with certain places.
Yeah. Well, that's great. Let's transition then and talk a little bit about hospitality outreach.
Okay.
What would you see as the importance of that ministry, or what's the purpose of it?
Well, the main thing we do is have new member dinner, and we, of course, have been on hold on that.
Sure.
We haven't had one for about a year and a half because of the COVID, and we are talking about planning one soon.
Good.
And we're glad.
Yeah.
We've got a lot of new members that have never had one, and we again want you to feel important, and we feed you and have a little, you know, orientation to what we do and who we are and everything, and just want people to know that we're glad you're here and we're glad that you want to be a part of us.
Yeah. And so ideally in a non-COVID year, then you'd probably try to have a couple of those a year.
Probably
or something.
2 a year, average.
And so people can get involved in that. In what ways?
We have a sign up for people to bring food and help to serve, or either one. You know, it takes people to make this happen. Yeah. And it's again, it's not intimidating either. You know, it's we have to feed the people, and we need food and people to help serve.
Yeah. So they could help by either being there and serving, or even not being there. And
we've had both. Some people have said, "Well, I'd like to help with food, but I can't be there," so that's fine. Or the opposite. You know, just that's our needs.
Yeah. It sounds like with both of those big ministries that you're working with, that it's a great. Both of those are great opportunities to not only make people feel important, but to make them feel welcome. You know, but just to, it's a ministry of first impressions, it sounds like, in a lot of ways.
Yeah, you know, I've been to churches where when you leave, you think, nobody even cared that I was here.
Yeah.
And you don't want to go back. You know, that shouldn't happen here. We got so many really awesome people here that this is a good place to be, and we hope that people who come through those doors feel that.
Yeah, for sure. You know, we haven't had a chance to show these teams this yet, but we had a secret shopper that we had a couple years ago that came, and they were a couple from the Ulaga area that came up and visited our services, and it was kind of a test to see how the welcoming ministry had done. And your wife was the first one to greet them whenever they came in, and so that was a good impression. But then I love how our church also had other people that would step in and say hello and try to make people feel welcome, and that's huge.
Yeah.
And you know, that acceptance.
You don't have to be on the greeting team to be a greeter. You know, somebody comes in. I've seen people, and we all have in the foyer that see someone and they just extend a welcome to them.
Yeah.
And that's what it's all about.
It's all
so
about
we're all greeters.
Yeah, for sure. And if we take ownership in our church, which we all should, then we are all commissioned to that ministry. Yeah. In that sense. That's good. You're involved in another ministry that happens seasonally, right around Christmas time. Tell us about that ministry.
Well, we have a really awesome team of about 8 people who build a float and take it to about 9 or 10 parades, depending on the year. Last year we got cut a couple because of the COVID. But the whole idea of this float, it's not just it's a wagon that we fold down and it looks pretty. But the main thing is to tell people Jesus is what Christmas is.
Yeah.
We have noticed, and I've even counted in Christmas parades, how many entries have anything at all to do with the birth of Jesus, and it's down to almost nothing. And that's a very sad thing.
Yeah.
So we just want people to know that this is what Christmas really is.
Right.
And it's the most important thing.
Yeah.
So my hat goes off to the people that work so hard to make that happen, because they do work hard, and it takes a lot of time not only to build it, but to take it. We spend most of 2 Saturdays, 1st of December, and going to parades.
Yeah.
And it's a lot of fun, really. We do a lot of work, but we have a lot of fun too. And it's these small teams like that, you really get to know people.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing.
Yeah. It seems like a fun camaraderie
Yeah,
that they have
yeah, it
through
is.
all of that. And so for people to get involved in that ministry, obviously it's, as we said, seasonal, but you've got builders and decorators and kind of greeters that travel down the streets with you.
Yeah. We start in October. Well, actually, we start about August with ideas. We start talking about what are we going to do this year. And it's amazing how the ideas come out of the woodwork. You know, sometimes people that don't even help with the float get this idea that's just really a good one.
Yeah.
And we'll listen to any ideas. But the main thing is, though, that it does portray that Jesus' birth is what Christmas is.
Yeah. Well, it's a valuable ministry, sharing Christ in that way, and maybe one of the ministries in the church that directly goes out more than any other. You know,
It's a place where I don't know how many thousands of people see that float, but it's thousands when you go to that many parades.
Yeah.
And you know that somewhere in there's people that this really kind of, they've overlooked this with all the secular stuff, or they never knew. And hopefully it'll make them think and realize what's really important.
Yes. We said last year during the shutdown that the church has left the building. That was one of the phrases that went around, and I see that in your ministry, is that when people couldn't come to church, you guys were ready to go to them.
Yeah.
And so what a great way to, you know, be the light. And your parade floats have been super creative too.
Yeah.
What are some of the things you've been most proud of with that?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I can't pinpoint one thing. The most thing I'm proud of is our team. They're just so incredible. They work hard. They're dependable,
Yeah.
and they're just good people to be around.
Yeah.
So you know, as long as we got this team that's so good, it's going to be something to be proud of, and it's
Yeah.
going to be something that I hope that the church and God's kingdom's proud of.
For sure. Well, we're proud of you, and we're thankful for what you do for all those ministries, representing the church, representing Christ well, and it means a lot. So keep up the good work.
Thank you.
Yeah. Think of anything we missed?
Oh no, you didn't ask about my pets, but that's
Oh man.
yeah. 3 cats, a dog, and Carla has 5 chickens. Which
Does she name the chickens?
Oh yeah. Yeah. And sometimes I think she'd rather be around them than me, but that's okay. They're good chickens.
So are any of them mean to you?
Oh no.
No?
They are the nicest, kind hens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so do you have a favorite out of all those pets? Is there one that's just like Keith and
I
this
don't-
one are...
Well, the one that's probably most like me is my old brown furry cat that jumps up on my lap and knocks me out, and we both take naps at, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. But no, I like them all.
That's a true
I'm
cat
an
nap.
that is true cat nap. I'm an animal lover.
That's awesome. Do you remember your first pet that you ever had when you were
Oh
young?
my, yeah, probably Cookie, the collie. Yeah. My mom said she could always find me when I was little because I had this cap, a stocking cap with a bright knot on the top, and she'd see the dog's tail and my stocking cap going through the field somewhere.
You were 2 peas in a pod. Huh?
Yeah, yeah,
A dynamic duo.
yeah.
Cookie.
Cookie. Yeah.
That's cool. Well, thank you very much.